Welcome to part. We're joined by Sean from Humberside. Sean, Tyson Fury piped up. I don't know if you've seen it. He says he's retired. He then went on to explain all sorts of reasons why and blah blah blah, and it ain't about money and all this nonsense. Uh, I'm not buying into that because the end game for Matchroom and Queensby for a very, very long time now has been Fury Joshua. And I just think it's Fury trying to get himself in a position for the lion's share of the money. Do you?
I do. I do. The only thing I heard from him um, at the show was when PC Gully were running after him, like he were chasing down a shoplifter to get a few words with him. And he said that he's not planning on fighting. He's only watched two fights recently. He's never heard of Makhmudov. He didn't know David fought him, and he's too busy. He's got two. He's recording two things which are coming out next March or May or something. They're going to fight next year, aren't they? At some point, if not later. Yeah, it's the only game in town for him. So they are going to fight, and he'll use all the Netflix, so he'll use the Netflix stuff at home with the Furies or whatever, watching him be a humble man in Morecambe, going to the recycling centre, and then all the people who know Fury will then sign up to watch the pay-per-view for his big comeback that we don't need to see.
Well, yeah, that's where all roads are leading to, aren't they? He'll be putting bins out in Morecambe and driving around in that old Passat he's got, that silver estate, making out his
Yeah.
average Joe. But it is what it
Renew
is.
his wedding vows again.
Hey?
Probably renew his wedding vows again. He does that every 6 months.
Yeah,
Um,
well, it is what it is. But do you think it's a bit pony from them, really calling out Usyk now for a third one? Or do you think
yeah,
that's the money fight?
no, I think it is Pony. Big John was also mentioning it to about there's still those contentious in those fights. No, there wasn't. The second fight was more comprehensive. He lost, but I wouldn't resent Usyk fighting anyone because I think he's earned the right to fight who he wants. But I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it. Fury's on the slide. He's fat as a pig, and I think he's going to come back, whether he has a knockover before or not, and he'll fight the shell of AJ as this fight more than a decade in the making, blah, 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 blah.
Do you think that boxing fans deserve a bit better? Because looking at this here, they've both had 17 counts between them as pros.
I do, in some respects, think boxing fans deserve better, but and I use the we collective term, but we've bought so much crap over the years um, that it's just the latest line in a fight, but it's possibly the biggest fight we don't need to see. But yeah, they definitely do deserve better because, like you say, they are way, way past their peak and are on a marked decline. They've both been beaten comprehensively twice by the same person. Their records in hindsight are nothing like we envisaged, like we've deconstructed Fury's, like how badly his fights with Wilder have aged, and AJ's highlight being against a near 42-year-old off the couch. So I don't think we're going to remember these fighters with the greatness with which we thought we would 3 years ago, because the true colours have shown as their fragilities have emerged.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking that Matchroom, they've got to be scared to death to put him near anybody, Joshua, aren't they? Now, I mean, they're just knocking fights back left, right, and centre. That's from hearing off matchmakers.
Yeah, yeah, but if Eddie's got 1 foot out of the matchroom game in terms of going public and flogging the £1 billion company, and he's a commercial man with no real loyalty to anyone other than himself, he'll chuck him in. He'll chuck him in with Fury, won't he? Even if he does get badly hurt, Eddie gets paid. He won't care, will he?
Now, Big Johns went on to say that they asked him what's the latest update on Tommy, and he said, "Oh, we're doing bits and pieces. We're going to let you know later on this month." Does that mean there's no happening with Tommy Fumballs?
I presume so. The last thing I heard of him was when I accidentally got an advert on my YouTube for him crying about drinking too much and Molly Adamadi and left him. I've not seen him anywhere near a ring. I suspect if he did come back, it'll be to fight I don't know if it's Jake Paul, is that his name? Logan or someone where he beat
Oh
him.
God, who wants to see all that pony again? I
Me, I'd pay not to see it. I'll happily pay 24.95 to keep that off my screens. But I suspect that'll be the one that he comes back for if he doesn't slide into misfits. I know when Darren put it on him, he started crying and ran away because Darren said he'll kick him in the head, which made me laugh. Because Tommy's not a real fighting man, is he? So yeah, no, but he's not. I presume he's got nothing lined up. He's probably celebrating 3 hours sobriety currently.
yeah. Big Johnny Bosch, aka Daddy Fudd. He's come out. He's been very scathing about the Australian, their border patrol, and he's not happy. He's on the rampage. What do you make of it all? And he's moving to promoting Frey Bentos.
I have never known a man have such a profile within the sport of boxing who's not got any real knowledge or insight, but he's the dad of a bloke that won an area title and got sparked by someone at below British level, and yet he's this global star. I presume I
Did
don't
he
use
keep cashing in
TikTok.
on being a fat man?
Yeah, basically, I mean, I'm probably jealous because I used to be really fat and didn't make a bean out of it. But yeah, basically his gimmick is he's fat and he says Bosch, and it wasn't even him who invented the Bosch thing. He nicked it off that Thomas Skinner. So he's got a second-hand um, catchphrase, and he's 28 stone. That's his thing, and he falls out with people if they say his son's shit rubbish at boxing, but he is.
Yeah.
That's his thing. And he now he's had a Mardy because he's too thick to arrange the right visa when he's in Australia. Tough.
Yeah, Eddie's intense beef with Dana White. I look at some of these American channels and they're wanting to know why Eddie's getting involved with beef and he's not qualified to talk about beef because he's never had a fight in his life in real life. Never had to overcome adversity. But he seems to be attaching his name in every interview that he does over in America with Dana White, who obviously finds it very funny considering this is Eddie's UK roster. Joshua Crusher Benn, Rhino Big Elmer, and Ben Whitaker, who Liam Cameron punched up and got robbed with a draw. Now that's Eddie's five, big five for UK now. Do you see that? Why? Do you see that? That is why Dana White's not really all that fussed about the smoke from Eddie.
I do. I absolutely do. And Eddie, the one thing Eddie craves obviously is attention because he'll have been overindulged by his nanny, then at private school, then by daddy, and then he's a narcissistic posh boy who just craves limelight and attention. So by attaching himself to Dana, who's obviously leads a very large growing sport with roots in the US, he tries to attach himself to it. He's done it in the past, hasn't he, with De La Hoya and everyone else. Eddie needs to be relevant, and that's why you see him talking about he's got in shape on the front of Muscle and Fitness, and he's got his book Relentless. He wouldn't know relentlessness if it punched him in the face, but I just wish that someone had when he was younger because he might be a little bit less arrogant, but it never happened. But yep, he has got a dwindling stable and keeps talking about a business they're going to float and sell and they make money doing everything else. Hurry up and do it then because I'm bored of him and his dad, Barry Epstein.
Yeah. If they do go for Fury Usyk, where does that leave Caballel, Wardley, Atoma, and Lawrence Okoli? You know, all guys sat at the top at
Yeah.
ranking. Does that mean they'll have all been given step aside if Fury jumps the queue to fight Usyk, or will they all be put on a promise from Bricktop because he controls all of them, doesn't he?
He does, you're right. And I wasn't aware he'd signed Cabell until a couple of weeks ago when you informed me of it. So yeah, if it's step aside money, I hope they get big step aside money, and I hope they don't get parked up. I hope they actually get the fights in time, but they deserve. I don't think Okoli's got a number one ranking with the W. Was it BC or one of the others? They're deserving of. They're more deserving of shots than Fury, than AJ, because these are people who are at their peak and have a force behind them in the sport in terms of they can do something. They're not shot through and selling out. I
Yeah.
really hope Okoli gets something as well because I like him, but he's got an honest trainer, so they probably hold him back.
He's only had 120 rounds of Coley. He's still fresh as a daisy compared to somebody like Parker with 263 rounds and been knocked about by Wardley. Joe Joyce knocked him about.
Yeah.
Dylan Whyte and CHIS0RA knocked him about as well. So
And he keeps putting his hand up at Coley. He will fight. He will fight him, and obviously Joe will look after him to make sure he only fights the right people when he's ready because he cares about his fighters. But Coley's not swerving anyone. He wants to fight, doesn't he? He's chucked his name in the ring a couple of times, like when Parker's opponent pulled out. So they brought the fella in, Bacoli. So yeah, it's sad really because they're far more deserving, particularly Caballero as well. What more does he have to do to get a title shot?
nothing is just not commercially viable, is he?
No, but he's such a likable guy. I think he speaks three languages. Um, he's got a good sense of humour when you speak to him. He could be, but they just park him up because you know what he can do is shatter the myths of the likes of Fury and AJ, so they won't let him anywhere near him.
Well, one of them, innit?
It
Uh,
is.
okay. This drug testing malarkey now with Conor Benn, it's well over 3 years now, isn't it, since he got busted.
Yeah.
Uh, when we're going to get our explanation for this? This is, mate, they're still getting loads of traffic through here on emails asking this. When we're going to get some confirmation, or when are these media guys going to mention it? Because they were all mentioning it at first, like Juggies, he was very outspoken. And since this 3 years has gone by, it just all seems to have disappeared, doesn't it? There's not, I don't see that same energy now that I saw 3 years ago. What do you make of it all, Sean?
I think it's tantamount to how I won't say corrupt, but how they're all part of the same narrative within the sort of journalism, if we can call the likes of those people out in the sport. Even Simon Jordan, that was seemed to have a moral compass on that subject matter. Then he met him and talked to him. Then, oh, we don't think he's lying. He failed twice for substances that you cannot ingest accidentally. They are masking agents and post-cycle therapies that he consumed. He's a drug cheat. The ban. Yet we've not seen the dossier. All we've heard is him saying he spent nearly £1 million trying to clear his name. Doesn't mean you're any less guilty. It just means you spent £1 million. And there's nothing said about it. But like I say, if he didn't have the commercial value, which is only born of having a famous dad anyway, he'd have been slapped with a big ban and we'd never heard of him
Yeah.
again.
My video saying they're having a trilogy, him and Crusher Ben and Eubanks looking good in it from what I'm hearing on social media. So they will fight 3 times because the dads didn't, but they will because they won't want to make that mistake that the dads made.
No.
You don't
And
come.
the only th I can see exactly where you're coming from, Pokey. Sorry to
Yeah, go
slightly
on.
interrupt. Um, and the horrible thing is, and Eubank, obviously Eubank's been a plank over the years, but if they fight three more times, that by the third fight, what will Eubank be? 37,
Yeah.
and he could do him then by then, and then Ben will get the victory at the end, and then go on to get a world title fight he doesn't deserve, dropping down a weight, or even if he loses all the fights, then drop him down and go, well, I was never that weight anyway. Um, it's just so unfair as well because in terms of talent, there's so many domestic people who are better than him at his natural weight or weights, and they won't ever earn 2% of what he's earned. And it's just an indictment of the sport. You don't need talent. You need a famous dad and a load of gear, and you'll be fine.
Okay. Tom Aspinall, his fight was declared a no contest at the weekend. I was gutted for Tom. He's a nice kid. Uh,
Too.
I didn't agree with that booing in there, did you?
Yeah, not at all. And the gentleman who ironically did lose an eye in the sport, Bisping, and fought on, was talking about how dangerous it is to get because he wasn't just gouged, he was knuckle deep gouged in both those eyes.
Yeah.
There's no way he was able to see, and it shows the damage. The finger that went in slightly less caused even more damage. That man didn't need booing, he needed some sympathy to be in hospital. I don't think he's even communicated that his eyes are fine yet. it is such a dangerous sport, and because the rules are a little bit vague around that, having that mitt open, it happens more. And I'm not saying Cyril did it, Garney did it on purpose, but there was no way that man should have been defending the title, the world title, when he's just had both eyes knuckle deep gouged, and the booing was disgusting, really.
Yeah, I know. Tom Aspinall's mindset. He'll want to come back and punch him all over for that. I can assure you. No, he
And I
won't.
think And I think he will as well, because that man finishes people early as well,
He
which
does. He's a
makes it so
striker,
good
isn't
to watch. He is a striker. And like I say, a little bit like Fabio, but probably even more. It just seems such a nice man outside the ring as well. Yeah, get him in there. Different game. But yeah, hope he heals up well. Hope they rematch. And I hope the people that were booing are soon back to cheering and feel a little bit silly for the fact they were booing a man that could have lost his eyesight in there to please the paying public.
he? Yeah. Paul Smith Boxing YouTube. Smigger Smig, aka Jim Royal, he set up a YouTube channel. A couple of years ago, he said, unless you've boxed yourself, you can't give an opinion on boxing. Yet now he wants fans to interact with him about boxing. Oh, it doesn't matter if you fought or not, according to Smigger Smig.
Paul is nothing if not inconsistent, consistently inconsistent. So yeah, I suspect his money's drying up from being a pundit, or he needs other income sources. So he'll start spouting his opinions. And like you've said before, he'll stick to the narrative when he gets his £500 on Talksport and a train drive down, and then he'll try and be a little bit more hardcore on his channel to try and get people to subscribe to him. I'm proud to say I've not come across his channel yet, and I hope the algorithm never tricks me into watching it even briefly as well, because he's not got much to say that I need to listen to.
Well, they're all doing it, aren't they? They've all got the channel, Stomping Ground, ADL Pedo, Smigger Smig, but none of them will go on Talksport and say how they do on their YouTube channels. And I have a problem with that because it's like the double dipping, isn't it?
Definitely, definitely. Either have honesty, speak truth to power, and say what you mean, and accept that you're then not going to get part of the right, or don't. Don't try and be both as well, because you're conning two audiences there, and you're not being true to yourself. And particularly when there's people that have been brave and laced up the gloves and fought in the ring and fought for world title level, it's a bit embarrassing, really, because you'd think there'd be better men of it as well.
Yeah, a bird come up to me the other night. Actually, she looked like Velda from Terror Hawk. She's had full Katie Price job lot. She come up to me and she went, "Oh, Derek Chisora is gonna fight Dylan White, you know, Pokey." Well, you're not telling me no, I don't know. Yeah, but it's not going to be announced till tomorrow. David Hayes come out and said something. He did that just to piss on a few people's bonfires.
I hope so. I saw that. Yeah, that's how I found out about it when he announced it. So yeah, no, he did. But like you, Bank, Hay did genuinely never care what anyone else thought of him, did he? And would happily tell Eddie to shut up, as well as so him ruining an announcement from the PR brigade. I hope he did it on purpose because it made me smile.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Eddie's best show this year that he's done on his own. Well, Boots Ennis, 33 to 1 on. He won it first round, by the way. That's his solo effort for 2025. Our matchroom now basically just agents tagging along to other people's coattails. I mean, they're not putting on the Ben Eubank one, are they?
No, they're not. They're not. And they must be kicking themselves that the BBC fight with the British title fight's been rescheduled in a relatively quick rerun for the British heavyweight title fight, and they've got a good contract, and they've got Turkey behind them, but their Turkey money seems to be drying up
Yeah.
For Eddie and Co as much, and Turkey's now got 10% of the zone himself, so. Eddie seems to be not as needed as he wants, and it's either killing him because of his ego, or he's knows that he's got paid and they'll soon be flirting to be out the game. But I hope it is hurting him as well, because he might actually go through something distress for once in his life.
Yeah. Kell Brook's coming back. He's going to fight after 4 year out in Dubai in New Year. Kid Gallagher's trying to get on the show. Is this
Is
where
he?
is this where we're at? Digging Kell Brook up?
Yeah, and Kid Galahad as well. I thought Kid was out the game. I'd heard from Flex that he'd invested his money in property and was never going to box again. So, Blimey, they are raiding the cellar of the Ingle gym as well. Blimey. But yeah, I saw Kell Brook has stepped in, and like I say, if it was to raise money for the Ricky Hatton Foundation, then all credit to them. But blimey, he shouldn't need to box anymore. I don't know how expensive Ebony Bridges is to maintain, but she's coming back herself. So yeah, they thought she's been self-sustainable. She flogs enough of her pants on OnlyFans, so who knows? And say I loved Kell Brook as a fighter, technically amazing. Seemed a nice fella as well. But he's had some nasty injuries in his career. I don't think that person will make a dent in him who he is fighting, but we don't need to see it really. But if it's raising money for the charity the gentleman has passed away, hey ho.
Well, Kell Brook is 40.
Is he?
40 in the spring, yeah, and they've dug him up after 4 year out. That just shows you what they think about Kell Brook, doesn't it?
It does, and if Flex is willing to take his trainer's fee for it, you just think, come on, you've had enough out of him, surely. He's flogging his punch bags on PC Gully channel now as well. He's must have, and he sells his little diet books and does his training for people.
Well,
Come on. Can't you urge some caution and tell him to stay retired?
well, he's not
He
going
was
to go
a,
get a job, is he, Flex?
no, he's not. No, he's not. But come on, his mum and dad must have left him enough
Oh, he's a
for him not to.
multi-millionaire, Flex. But like I said, they don't want to spend their own. Go put some shows on in Sheffield like Dennis does. That's what you need to do.
No, he's a tight ass, so and he doesn't even drink.
Yeah, well, he eats celery.
He
Great.
does, and yeah.
That's about it, mate. I'm going to get off now. I'm off into town, get me some jeans and a top. But listen, it's been a pleasure, Sean. I hope you're well,
I'm feeling really good, Porky. Thank you.
and I hope you're doing good. And we will speak again. Thank you,
Fantastic. Take care. Bye.
Sean. Bye. That was Big Sean from Humberside. Women love him, men want to go gym with him because he knows what he's doing. That's about it. Max, don't ring me. I've told you to stop ringing me, Max. You're terrorising me. Pop, pop, bang.